Nerd here. Rounding out 2020 with a Wi-Fi 6 router review seemed like a good idea. Fortunately for me, TP-Link tossed over their new Archer AX21 router to check out. Wi-Fi 6 is the start of a new naming convention to replace the sometimes confusing 802.11a, BG, NAC, AX nomenclatures because letters are hard and numbers are easy. Wi-Fi 6 is AX, Wi-Fi 5 would be AC, and so on down the line. Let's briefly talk about what's new with Wi-Fi 6 and check out this router. Meet the TP-Link AX21. It's a dual-band router with theoretical speeds up to 1.8 gigabits per second, and because it's Wi-Fi 6, it'll be able to manage more devices, which is good for all those smart devices. You get a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core processor, which is just a spec, it's not a Wi-Fi 6 thing, access to the newest Wi-Fi encryption, WPA3, and a USB 2.0 port, which is also not a Wi-Fi 6 thing. Wi-Fi 6 also promises smoother streaming, while slightly saving battery life on your devices. Here are some specs. Some cheaper routers or access points will save money by having the 5.0 GHz channel be the only Wi-Fi 6 band, making the 2.4 GHz band still only Wi-Fi 5 or AC. This router appears to have both bands be true Wi-Fi 6, which is good. The router comes in at $100. Feels like it's good quality. The antennas are nice and stiff. You also get one ribbon Ethernet cable and the power adapter. Nothing fancy here, but you get what you need. This plastic was a bit of a pain to get off. On the back you get a WPS button that also looks like it lets you disable the Wi-Fi, a reset button, and a button to turn off the LEDs on the front. You also get a USB 2.0 port as discussed, WAN port, 4 LAN ports, power button, and the port to power it. Setting it up was easy. Connect your computer or laptop to the router with the provided cable or get on Wi-Fi. Then type in 192.168.0.1 into your browser address bar and go through the steps. It'll prompt you to create a password to use to log into the router, and then it runs you through a few of the steps to get it set up. It may update, and then will prompt you to sign up for their cloud service, which will let you manage your router from anywhere, but it's totally optional. You can also download the app Tether and set up the router on your phone. Once in the app, you can use their Wi-Fi detective to detect certain devices on your network that you might not know about, like devices that are new or that perhaps don't have a name. It's a neat idea. You can look at your devices that are on the network, click on Smart Life Assistance to set up Alexa, but confusingly their app says this router isn't compatible, but their Amazon listing says it is. I don't have an Alexa to test with, so I can't say for sure, but I'm sure someone can specify in the comments. In the app, you can also check out some of the router's details, check out the devices that are connected to your network, and view their details. Under Tools, you can see or set up wireless devices, set up TP-Link's One Mesh, which will let you add to your Wi-Fi coverage using TP-Link's mesh equipment. You can enable QoS and set up parental controls by using profiles. Clicking the plus icon in the upper right will create a new profile, and then you can block websites, set up schedules, and time limits, and other limits, and then add devices to the profiles. I think profiles are a good way to do it, in my book. It gives you the ability to restrict your devices in different ways. Rounding out settings, you can set up the guest network, link your router to your TP-Link ID, change the router to work as just an access point, which I think is pretty slick. Advanced settings just tells you to go to the web browser. In the web browser, you can mess with everything we mentioned in the app, plus a few other things, notably Mac cloning, LAN settings, address reservation, dynamic DNS, port forwarding, configuring the USB storage device, MAC binding, configuring OpenVPN, changing IPv6 settings, checking system logs, and of course more. As far as the coverage goes, that heat map shows the coverage is actually really good, with the average decibel rating being about 43. Average link speeds stayed in the 500s, and the stats were just about as good on the second floor. Speed tests would go up to 280 megabits per second over the internet, and as much as 103 megabytes, or 824 megabits per second over the local network. With Wi-Fi 6's WPA3 security, you would get better protection for simple passwords, better encryption, and making it easier to add your IoT devices to your Wi-Fi. But you won't get all the benefits of Wi-Fi 6 unless your devices support it. If you don't have any Wi-Fi 6 devices, then don't upgrade just for Wi-Fi 6 alone quite yet. If you do have compatibility issues, you can disable the Wi-Fi 6 on here and you should be good. The last test I ran was a file transfer to an SSD attached to the USB port on the router. It ran at around 18 megabytes per second, which is pretty good. At this point, if you have a Wi-Fi 6 device and are looking to jump into Wi-Fi 6 without breaking the bank, this router seems like a pretty good option. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and thanks for watching.